if society says something is true, like let's say you have a society and eventually most people in that society, or maybe even all people in that society, believe one thing, does that make it true?
No.
Okay. All right, cool. So first of all, hi, I'm Nate. Nice to meet you.
I'm Jessica.
Jessica. All right, cool. Jessica, is that 2 S's?
Yes.
ICA?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. All right. And so Jessica, are you a student here?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. What are you studying?
Accounting, but I'm going to change my major to something in communications.
Okay. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Are you freshman, sophomore?
Freshman.
Freshman. All right. Well, that's good. That's a good year to change your major. I changed
Yeah.
my major my freshman year too, so totally fine. What are you interested in about communications?
I was more looking into journaling.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more not even a math person, so I was like, let's go more over to the writing.
Yeah, accounting is definitely lots of math. So if you're not interested in that, then you're making the right decision to get out of that. So that's cool. All right. Well, Jessica, like I said, what I'm doing is having these conversations with people where we explore something that they believe is true. And it could be really any sort of belief that you have where you think, hey, this, I believe pretty strongly this is true. It's helpful it's something that's important to you, but it doesn't have to be. It really could be any topic. I've talked to people about religious beliefs, political beliefs, social issues, really anything that's been on your mind recently maybe might be a good topic, but also just if there's something that you believe that's really important to you, we could explore that.
Honestly, I don't know. I have a lot of beliefs, so
That's okay. You can take your time. You could just throw a few of them out, and then we could discuss a couple, and you could pick one too.
I definitely know the struggle. Like, it's hard to say what you believe in. I believe in. I guess I believe in Jesus. I believe in pro-choice. Jeez. I don't know.
We could explore one of those too.
Okay.
Either one is totally fine. So is there a particular one that you would like to explore more? Do you think, yeah, maybe I haven't thought about this as much as I could have, and it might help to bounce ideas off somebody else? I could kind of be a sounding board that way and ask some questions and help you explore that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that
Sure.
again?
So you mentioned Jesus, you mentioned being pro-choice.
Yeah.
So obviously it's up to you which one we explore, but it might be helpful if you think that it might benefit you to explore one of those deeper. If there's one of them that you have the position, but you're not as sure why you believe that, or what your reasons are, or you'd like to explore it with somebody, that might be a good way to pick, or we could flip a coin.
Okay, so let's go pro-choice, because
Okay.
I'm like really solid on the Jesus thing, so it's just like,
Okay.
okay.
All right. And so by being pro-choice, what do you mean? How would you encapsulate that
I feel
belief?
like women should have their own say about their bodies, and I feel as though like the whole fetus talk, I just like the whole child talk, because people now consider fetuses as children now, so
we could maybe explore that.
yeah, sure.
So is a fetus a child, or is a fetus a person? That could be kind of like the question. If you had to say what you think about, like, maybe like personhood of that of the developing like embryo, fetus, etc., what do you think about that?
I personally feel like it's a fetus until okay, so one, I really don't know like when's the cutoff of having an abortion when you're because like when you go into the clinic and stuff like that, you want to choose, like there's a specific like time where you cannot have an abortion. So I feel like why can't we just leave things how they originally were, like because I feel like this has really like it's started being a topic nowadays that people start really questioning what we already have talked about, like so trying to like to let you like go through my head real quick.
No, that's what we're doing, and it's okay if you feel like you're a little confused. That's all right. That's what I'm here to help you out with.
Yeah.
So I think the interesting question, we have this whole idea of cutoff times and how are those determined, and as far as I know, it's it can be different from state to state, country to country, etc. Right? So maybe the question should be, maybe first we start with when, do you think at some point that developing life, whatever, or if you don't think it's alive, I don't want to put words in your mouth, right?
Yeah,
when does that developing fetus or embryo or whatever, when does that begin to be a person? Does it begin to be a person? Does it have rights at some point? And what do you think about that? Where's your stance there?
Once it start develop, like, well, obviously it's developing, but once it started developing and like more the brain development, the feelings, because apparently I don't know which weeks that are, like there's certain weeks and stuff like that, that technically they start having feelings and stuff like that, like
right.
they feel
can
things.
feel things,
Exactly.
They have sensations.
So so I feel like once that hits, like they're considered like they're considered a person then, because like,
tell you what,
yeah.
Before you move on, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
All right. And I think we're just going to explore that as the belief. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Because these conversations can be tricky. It's hard to nail down exactly what we want to discuss. And there's lots of different components. And sometimes it's good to just focus in on like one of them. So I'm going to try to rephrase it, and you let me know if this sounds correct, okay? And please correct me if this is not your position.
All right.
I want to make sure I'm understanding you and I'm getting you right.
Okay.
So once a fetus has the sufficient brain development or neurological development to have sensations or feel things, then it's a person and is deserving of maybe like moral consideration or rights or human rights. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Brain. I'm just going to jot some things down. Sensation. Personhood. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. I think I know what I mean here. Hopefully I'll remember. Okay. So if that is the belief, how confident are you that that is true?
Well, since it's my belief, I just feel like I am 90% sure.
90%?
Like, yeah.
Okay. 90% sure. Pretty confident, but not at 100%. Okay. I appreciate that, actually. I think it's good to not be 100% on things.
Yeah, because, like, you never know what changes in what's, like what, because some things can change people's minds. So, like, I'm always not sure of things and can take some things into consideration when talking about it. Okay. So.
Perfect. That leads right into my next question, actually. You're doing it already for me. Is there anything... Can you imagine learning something or some piece of evidence that could come along that could increase your confidence that once we have sensation, then that fetus is, maybe a person deserving of some sort of moral? Is there anything that could raise you from 90 to 91, 92, 93%?
Honestly, I wouldn't think so. Because, mine is what would come along, like, to make someone consider, like, at this point that they're not. Because, okay, it's, like, kind of hard to say because there might be like something to, I mean, I don't know, I'm just like trying to process this in my brain.
That's okay. That's what this is all about.
Maybe.
Okay, so there might be something that could increase your confidence, but maybe you're not sure what that is.
Yeah.
So let's go the other way. That might actually help you identify something. So can you think of something that you could learn that would make you less confident that this is the case?
Less confident. Maybe, probably what society says. Because
Okay.
because they're always bringing out like new things to say about this topic all the time. Like so I might be wrong, or someone or there's like an extra step that I'm like missing or something, like they can actually, but I just think like it it really kind of becomes like it kind of have rights when they're develop a brain, basically.
Okay. So maybe the way you're seeing like rights and that sort of thing is that in order to have rights, in order to have maybe personhood or moral consideration, you have to be able to perceive, think, feel, something like that. Okay. And then you're talking about like some other step. Yeah. Are there different requirements or criteria maybe that somebody else might have for what makes somebody a person?
So obviously we have pro-lifers, and they're stuck on like the fetus part. So I guess it would be how they think of this, and but they obviously think like a fetus is a fetus is a person or a child or whatever. But
Yeah, they're kind of maybe their criteria is just are you
you're
like are you
pregnant, you have a person in your
fertilized
stomach.
zygote or
Yeah.
whatever, right? 46 chromosomes, you've gone
Yeah.
through fertilization, right? That's it. Whereas your criteria are a little bit different than that, where there has to be thinking and feeling and that sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there could be like maybe there's some other definition of being a person that you haven't considered, and if you changed your mind, if you became convinced that no, actually being a person is more than just having the necessary brain structure and being able to feel and think and that sort of thing, then maybe that would change your confidence, make
Yeah.
you less confident. Okay. Uh, the other thing that you mentioned was that, well, maybe what society says. So I'm going to ask some questions to explore that a little bit. So if society says something is true, like let's say you have a society and eventually most people in that society, or maybe even all people in that society, believe one thing, does that make it true?
No.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of fake news of it and stuff like that. So I feel like you really have to pick and choose what you believe in. So, I mean, society, one thing about me, I like try to have my story straight sometimes when I'm like talking about society, but
This whole process is about trying to get our story straight, so that's okay.
exactly. So, well, I feel like they play a huge role because obviously it was enough to have this debate on pro-choice and pro-life. So I just feel like they play a huge part because obviously they always have something to say. And whether it's right or wrong.
Like everybody in the whole society.
Yeah, whether it's right or wrong. So,
okay. So for example, you said, what society says. If all of society, if maybe not all, let's not go that far.
Yeah.
If
majority,
95% of people eventually came to the position that a fetus is a person as soon as sperm meets egg, would that change your mind? Would that make you less confident?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
wouldn't think so.
So it sounds like maybe what society says actually isn't one of the reasons.
Yeah, it could be.
That sound reasonable? I'm just going to go cross it out, okay? You said something else there, and I want to make sure I come back to the main topic, but you said something that I thought was interesting, and I just want to make sure I understand what you were saying. I think you were talking about like the news and fake news and that sort of thing. But you said you have to pick and choose what to believe in. Do you mean like which news sources to trust, or do you mean something else?
I feel like both. Okay, so when I said pick and choose what you believe in, one, going out through life, I feel like you do that. Like you pick, like I said, my two choices were pro-choice and Jesus. Like, okay, so throughout life, well, everything that I've done up to this point, like made me choose Jesus or like God or whatever, but because that's how I was growing up and stuff like that. And then pro-choice, I've decided by myself when the debate started and stuff like that. And you definitely have to, because not everyone's gonna be on your side. And I feel like picking. Okay, hold on. Can I redo the question again? Because I'm like going off.
I'll pull you back here real quick. So I think what you might be saying is something like, you have to make your own decisions on where you stand on some things.
Exactly.
Okay. Because the other thing you said was pick and choose what to believe in. And I'm wondering if we can choose. Do you think it's possible to choose what we believe in? Can a person just choose to believe something? Or are they just convinced eventually once they learn enough about something?
I feel like we're more convinced
Okay.
than us picking. Because we might pick something and then obviously I majored.
Yeah. Like, could you choose to believe that, a fetus is a person when sperm meets egg? Could you just choose that? Or is that something that you'd have to be convinced by?
I feel like I would have to be convinced.
Okay.
To do that. So yeah, I guess like everything you do have to be convinced.
Yeah. So you're eventually coming to a conclusion based on the things you learn, various pieces of evidence possibly. Does that all sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. And if you wanted to come back to the other topic, we can do that one too, depending on how much time you got and if you got to get to class.
No, I have no more classes.
All right, cool. So you said that something that could convince you to go down from 90% would be if there's some piece of information you're missing that you think could change, maybe what your requirements are for when somebody's a person. Like right now, your requirements are, you have to have a brain and you have to be able to feel things and sense things, maybe feel pain, right? Does that all sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're saying, I could come down in percentage if I was convinced there was some other requirement that I'm missing right now, right? And we don't have to speculate what that could be. Could be a variety of things, right? So is there something that could bring you from 90 up higher to 100 now, do you think?
Well, no.
No? Okay. I feel like 90 is about as high as you're going to go. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I respect that because, like I said before, I think not being at 100 is pretty good. That means you're open to changing your mind. You're willing to accept new information and new evidence. So I commend that. Okay. I think we explored some topics that were kind of fun to think about there.
You definitely had me thinking because I was like, wait a minute. Actually.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's the whole thing. Do you feel like you're still at 90% right now?
You have my mind racing, so I feel like I'm sticking with 90.
Okay.
Because I don't know, that's just how I believe it should be, honestly.
Cool. Excellent. All right, cool. Well, hey, Jessica, I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
Nice meeting you. Thanks for sitting down for an interview.
Thank you.
I have a card here, and then where if you want to catch up with me, I've got an email address, and then also there's a YouTube channel with a QR code. more information will be on the back there.
All right.
It's this whole process of talking to people about things. If you want to have another interview about another topic sometime, we can. Do it right now if you want to, or if you want to get going and find it again some other time, you can.
I will find you. Okay.
Awesome.
I
Cool.
have to recover from that.
Yeah, go ahead and reflect on that one first.
I
Right?
will.
All right, cool.
You were
Thanks, Jessica.
amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Good luck with that major change.
I will.
That was fun. We touched on a lot of things there. You could definitely tell she was thinking about stuff pretty hard. So, success.